So basically, I'm going to teach you right now is financial modeling. Okay. So before we deep dive into what is financial modeling, maybe I'll show you how financial modeling is. Okay. For that, I will try to go to a new Excel file. So maybe you can show some thumbs up if you can see this particular Excel file. Okay. Thank you. All right. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a simple financial modeling. Okay. So what I'm going to do right here is I'm going to press Control semicolon. So in your keyboard, okay, if you press Control semicolon, you will notice that it shows the current date. Okay, it shows the current date. So maybe instead of 30th September, I want to put in maybe 1st September. Okay, so when you press Control semicolon, it shows the current date. Okay, the next thing what I'm going to teach you is I'm going to go put here equal EOM month. Okay, so this is end of month formula. So what is this end of month formula? This end of month formula will give you the end of date. So for example, in this end of month, we do have two different arguments, the start date and also the months. So the start date, I just select this and I put comma, I put here 0. Okay, and then I close bracket. So if you notice right now, this is under general format. So what if just say I put into a short date format? So if just say I put short date format, so automatically this end of month shows me the last day of the month. Okay, I'll just put here end of month shows the last day of the month. Okay, so this is the end of month. But some of you might be wondering why I put here 0. Okay, why I put here 0? What happened if just say I put here -2? If just say I put here -2, you see here, it starts from September. September minus 2, you have August and you have July. But if just say I put here -3, if I put -3, it minus 3 months. If just say I put +3, okay, it plus 3 months. So if just say I put 0, it will be the current month. Okay, so this is the starting date. This is the ending date. And what I'm going to do here is I want to use text formula equal text open bracket. So in the text formula, we have two things. One is value, another is format text. So the value, I'm going to click this. This is my value. And for format text, I'm going to put apostrophe and I want to write D and close apostrophe, close bracket. So now you might be wondering why there is 3D, okay, and why it's a D, not the F or A or B. Okay, let me show you. If just say I put here 3D, it becomes the short form of day. Okay, if just say I put here one more D, it becomes full form. Okay, when I put 4D, it becomes full form. So now if just say, okay, let me change here. Instead of D, can I change to maybe M? Okay, just say I put here M, 4M. So if I put 4M, M is month. So we have a full form. But if just say instead of 4M, I put 3M, it becomes short form, September. If just say instead of 3M, I put 2M, it becomes 09, which is the current month. Okay, so I can actually put this into 4M and 4Y. Okay, 4M and 4Y. So now we do have September 2023. Okay, so this is how it looks. And then what I can do is I put here equal plus 1. So when 30th September plus 1 is 1st October. And I put here Control R. Okay, let me extend this. So now we have 31st October 2023. Control R, we have October 2023. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I want to remove this. Okay, let me adjust accordingly. All right, and then I just go to Control G. So when I press Control G, a box will appear. I want to go to AA1. So automatically it will go to AA1, the coordinates of AA1. I highlight down, Control Shift left, Control R. Okay, and then when I auto format the column width, so now this becomes the format. So now we do have a planning from September up to October and of course up to September 2025. So basically we do have a 2 years planning. All right. So now what I'm going to do is I want to show a basic financial planning. For example, I put here salary and then I put here expenses. Of course, being a human, we do have expenses. So if just say you are staying in a house, sometimes you have your house installment. It's either you are renting or you are paying the house EMI. Or sometimes if you have a car like BMW or whatnot, So you need to pay the installment, and then of course we need to pay food, we need to pay bills, and of course sometimes we have entertainment, like maybe watching some Hollywood movies or Collywood movies. Okay, so now if you notice over here, what I'm going to do is just say I'm going to put the salary, just say 6,000. Okay, of course it's India, you can put actually 55 lakhs. Okay, so let me adjust this. So we have 5 lakhs over here. Just say the installment, I'm going to put a random number, maybe negative 20,000. And car installment, just say BMW negative 20. Okay, I might be wrong, but this is how it looks. And then maybe for food, you know, I just put here maybe negative 15,000. And then bills, just say negative 10,000. And then entertainment, maybe negative 20,000. Okay, so let me format this. Okay, so this is how it looks. So this is all your expenses, just say for your September. All right, seems like your expenses is more. Maybe I'll just put the salary is higher, maybe salary about 9 lakhs. Okay, so if just say 90,000 is your salary and your expenses is 85,000. So what you can do is this 90,000 we minus it is 85,000. But if you notice carefully, is 85,000 is in negative. So we put is ABS. ABS means absolute value of the number. So whether it's negative or positive, it makes absolute. So I'm going to put bracket and I'm going to put this and close bracket. There you go. So basically your savings will be about 5,000. Okay, 5,000 Indian rupees, for example. And then maybe over here, I put here opening. Okay, sometimes if you have an opening, you have a bank account, so you have an opening balance. So if just say opening balance, I'm going to put this equal, and I'm going to put here 5,000. So automatically you will have 5,000 over here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to press Control R, and over here I'm going to press Control R, so that is going to click. And then over here I'm going to press Control R. Okay, so this is your data. So what I'm going to do is now we do have this data. Let me zoom it out. So this is your opening balance, and this is your savings. Okay, so what I'm going to do is what I'm going to do, I'm going to plus this. All right, so let me click this closing balance. Okay, so just say your closing balance and you plus. Okay, so let me plus this 5,000. I'm going to plus with the remaining 5,000. Okay, so now we have 10,000, and I'm going to put here, and I'm going to put here equal. Okay, so I'm going to press same thing, Control R and Control R, and over here I just want to press Control R. Okay, so now you will have 15,000. So if just say I go to this September 2025, and I want to click all this, okay, over here, and I press Control R. So automatically, from what we can see is in the next 2 years, you will have about a savings of 120,000. Okay, this is a rough figure, 120,000. So what you learn from here is this is basically financial planning. That means on monthly basis, you understand that this is your salary that you'll be getting. This is the expenses that you will be paying on monthly basis. And then you have savings. And then of course, if you save some money, you will put in the bank. So you have your opening balance and you have the closing balance. So what I show you is financial planning. Okay, so far it's okay. Do you understand roughly? If you understand, maybe you can show some thumbs up. Okay, so basically this is actually financial planning, but I'm not going to teach you financial. Okay, I think someone raised their hand. Okay, so if you have any questions, maybe you can type in your chat box the questions, or you can just unmute. Okay, so just to let you know, today's session I'm going to teach you on financial modeling. Okay, this is financial planning, but what I'm going to teach you right now is financial modeling. What is financial modeling? Okay, financial modeling, as you can see over here, I'm sharing a slide. So this is financial modeling. Financial modeling is whereby some companies, if just say in India or in any countries, they are involved in business. In business, it can be building a metro train, it can be constructing a hotel, or it can be expanding a business. So before investors, shareholders decide to invest into a project, they need to have a black and white. They need to have an Excel file that can forecast the future. Okay, so now in today's session, we will learn what is the financial model. We will learn the uses of financial model. We will also learn who will use the financial model. Okay, so let us go one by one. So in a simple words, a financial model is building an Excel template to forecast data. That means, meaning to say, if just say you want to construct a metro train, of course, in India you have a railway train like in Delhi and whatnot. So if just say you want to construct a building or you want to construct a project in your India or in anywhere, of course, before you construct, you need to have some forecast. You need to forecast the numbers. You need to forecast the expenses. So basically, financial model is you are building a template to forecast data. Okay, meaning to say, like how you forecast here just now. If you notice here, just now I forecast some simple data. That means your salary, your expenses. So this is for individual. This is for personal. But sometimes company, they are involved in projects. Projects, it can be $1 million, $1 billion project. So before the shareholders invest money into a project, they need to build a template to forecast the data. Okay. So of course you can see this, but in the simple words, build an Excel template to forecast data is financial model. Okay. So now let us see what is the uses of financial model. Okay. So financial modeling is normally famous in project finance, investment analysis, merger and acquisition, and budgeting. So if they say the company is involved in oil and gas, a oil and gas company, they have to extract the oil from the ocean. To extract the oil from the ocean is not very cheap. It can involve $1 billion because you need labor, you need license, you need insurance, you need engineering costs. So all these costs are expensive. So before they decide to drill the ocean, the seabed, they need to investigate how much cost incur. Okay. So let us see who will use the financial model. Okay, who will use is bankers. If you know financial model, normally the bankers, business owners, consultants like KPMG, McKinsey, they are also involved in providing consultation with regards to financial model. And those who works in investment research, project finance, yes, they are involved in financial model. So let us see the example of financial model. Like for example, in India, you have a metro train. A metro train, to build a train is not cheap. It's not 1,000 rupees. It's not 1 lakh. Sometimes it equals 1 million or 1 billion. Because one first thing is you need to have the license. Number two is the engineering cost. The engineering cost, the procurement cost, the license, the insurance, the labor. So all this requires a lot of money. And then the same thing goes for oil and gas. The same thing goes for highway and construction. Okay. So to build a highway is not cheap because you need the materials, you need the labor, you need the license, you need the insurance. And of course, same thing in Malaysia. In Malaysia, to build a building also, you need some expenses, a lot of money. So before the shareholders decide to invest into the project, they need to understand how much profit they make. They need to understand what is the ROI, return on investment. They need to understand what is the cash flow. Okay, financial modeling is more to accounting and finance subject. And interesting part is they are using it in the Excel file. Okay, so before a company decides to construct a building, they need to have the blueprint. And during the blueprint stage, they will try to estimate or forecast the expenses. What are the expenses incurred? Okay. And then, for example, some banks, what they do is they do investment analysis. Investment analysis is if they say you have any finance friends, of course, if you have a desire to be in finance or complete your professional paper of CFA, Chartered Financial Analysis, so these people also, they will try to provide, prepare financial model to provide a recommendation. It can be sell or hold or buy. For example, in India, there's a company named Sun TV. So Sun TV is basically a public listed company in South India. So in this company, what they do is the author or the equity analyst, they will provide a recommendation whether to buy, sell or hold. But how they provide the recommendation? Based on financial model. So as you can see over here, these are the information actually prepared in the Excel file. They prepare this in the Excel file, then only they will go to the Microsoft Word and they will prepare this right now. So basically to show you, let me show you all this data over here. So this is the sample equity analyst report. So if you see here, this is the authors and all this information are basically prepared in the Excel file. So once they prepare all this information is known as financial model. That means they forecast the future financial information. Once they forecast the future financial information, then they provide a recommendation whether to buy, sell or hold. So basically this is more to a finance and accounting subject. But what is interesting is people from engineering background or from architect background, or maybe from entrepreneur background, they can also learn financial modeling. It's basically you're forecasting a data inside Excel. So now this is another company in India, Just Dial. So this company is like you see here, this is the author. So this author, what they do is they forecast this company. They forecast this company, and as you can see, this is the financial model. Financial model means they prepare this financial information and they forecast the future. Okay, if you notice, there's a and there's a E. A means actual, E means estimate. Okay, I know we have passed 2022, but if you notice here, this report was prepared in 4th August 2020. So basically, at that time, 2021 until 2023 was a future date. So this is the data that they prepared in the Excel file. So all these are actually financial model. Basically, they prepare to forecast the data in the Excel file. Okay, so far okay? If okay, maybe you can show some thumbs up. If you have any questions, maybe you can ask. Okay, I see there's no questions. All right. So I'll just try to proceed to the next one. So basically, this is what financial modeling is. Financial modeling is whereby you forecast the future. Whether if just say your company decides to expand their business or the company decides to invest in the project. So before they invest into the project, because when you invest, you are spending millions, you are spending billions. So this is a lot of money. So before you spend a lot of money, you need to have a blueprint. You need to have, some kind of financial model or Excel template that gives you some understanding. Okay. So for example, this data over here, this particular news. So Disney acquire Marvel. So before Disney acquire Marvel, I strongly believe that their particular team in Disney, what they do is they prepare the financial model in their Excel file. So based on the financial model, then only they can decide to invest in the company. Okay, all right. So now just to recap, okay, to understand what is this financial model. Financial model in the simple words is preparing using an Excel template to forecast data. And who uses it? Project finance, budget, investment analysis, merger and acquisition. Who uses it? Bankers, consultants, and those work in project finance. Okay, and then what you need to know to build a financial model. Our first thing is you need to know some Excel skills, but today we will learn about the Excel skills. Second thing is about the accounting and finance. Okay, so maybe Arun or maybe Prem, you can unmute, mute. Okay, so and then what you need to understand is you need to understand the company as well. For example, if you need to understand the company means what's the oil and gas industry, what is the utility industry. So once you have a strong understanding of the company, then you can actually prepare the financial model and you can actually share to the shareholders. Okay, so the this is FM. FM means financial model. This financial model involves input, process, and output. Okay, so now we will learn how we can actually prepare this financial model. Okay, so what are the steps? Yes, I will teach you in a while. In the meantime, maybe Prem or Arun, can you mute those guys? Maybe Prem, if you are there. Okay, maybe Prem or anyone, because I don't have the access to mute the. Maybe Shivani, you can actually mute this so that I can proceed. So there's a question in the chat box whereby, thank you, Shivani. So basically in the chat box, there's a question, how to build the financial model. Okay, for today, to teach you financial model, of course, it's not possible for me to cover this within 2 hours, but I can teach you based on a fictional example, because there's a chat box, there's a question that states that, okay, what are the steps to create financial model? Because they need to have, he wants to build into the oil and gas industry. Okay, so to build a financial model, you need input, process, output. Okay, what is input, process, output? So together, let's learn. Okay, so now we are going to learn how we can actually prepare financial model. To prepare financial model, you need 3 things. First thing is input, process, output. Okay, The input might be more than 2 sheets because input is basically your assumption and the numbers you key in. The process is basically the transition. Inside the process, it can be depreciation, it can be balance sheet, it can be the tree statement. Meanwhile, the output is the presentation that you make to your investors or the top management. Okay, so process is like a transition between input and output. Okay, so now let us learn how we can actually construct a financial model. So now in India, in South India, we do have a company named Saravana Bhavan. So this company, they are looking for expansion. Expansion means they want to open many outlets in Malaysia. Okay, so now when they want to expand their business in Malaysia, first thing is they need to have some data, some understanding. Okay, but this is a very fictional one. Of course, for 2 hours, I'm going to teach you a simple one. But of course, to cover this financial model, sometimes it takes 2 days or 3 days course. Okay, all right. So now to expand their business, this is their assumption. They have the worst case, they have normal case, they have best case. So basically, Saravana Bhavan is a company that makes revenue from selling food and beverages. That means you eat vegetarian food. It can be like, rice and vegetable food. So basically, they have an assumption whereby if the customers visit, the customers spend maybe 10 ringgit, okay, during the worst case, and best case, they spend about 15 ringgit. And then they have an assumption whereby during the worst case, the customers, about 200 customers per day. During the best case, it's about 3,000 customers per day. Okay, so this one I'll put maybe during the COVID-19 season. So during the COVID-19 pandemic, of course, we do have lockdown imposed globally, and then people are working from home, staying from home, and so on. So during the worst case scenario, there are few customers going to the Sarana Bhavan and spending money and eating in the shop. During the best case, which is like the current moment, we see a lot of people going to the Sarana Bhavan and eating. So the first thing is like what Rakesh asks in the chat box is you need to have the assumptions. All right. So now this is a sample assumptions. So what I'm going to do is the thing is I'm going to create a drop down list. I'm going to put my cell over here. Okay. So this is my cell. I'm going to go to the data. So once I go to the data, okay, as you can see over here, we do have data validation. So I click on my data validation and a box will appear. So if you can see here, can you see list? If you can see list, maybe my friends, can you show some thumbs up? Okay, so this is the list and then the source. Okay, because we do have worst case, normal case, best case. So what I'm going to do is I want to highlight all these. Okay, I highlight all these and I press OK. So basically now I can choose like worst case, normal case, and best case. So this is a scenario because in financial modeling, you are actually forecasting the data. When you are forecasting the data, there is multiple assumptions. What is like the best case scenario? What is the worst case scenario? Like this example, I only have 3 scenarios. But when you start working, it can even be more than 5, more than 10 different scenarios. Okay. All right. So next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use H lookup equal H lookup. H lookup is like a VLOOKUP formula, but H stands for horizontal. So H lookup, the lookup value, I'm going to choose this. The table array, I'm going to highlight all this table. Row index number, since I highlight this table, the row index number, I choose number 2. Why I choose number 2? Because this is the first row, this is the second row, and I type false because I want exact match. Okay, I type false because I want exact match. Let me put here false and close bracket. There you go. Okay, so now if just say I click here worst case, it shows me the scenario 1. If just say I click normal case, it shows me scenario 2. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I want to automate this, meaning to say I put it equal choose. There's a formula called choose. So the index number, if just say this is 2, and then I'm going to choose there got value 1, this is value 2, this is value 3. Okay, and then I'm going to lock this, the D8 I'm going to lock, and I press enter. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to press control down and I'm going to copy this and paste as value. Okay, so meaning to say now if just say I click best case, when I click best case, so automatically if you notice the numbers changes accordingly. If just say I put worst case, the data changes accordingly. If just say I put normal case, the data changes accordingly. I believe some of you, you will want me to repeat again. I can repeat it for you. So what I do is I put here equal choose formula. Okay, choose formula. The index number is I choose the number over here and I press F4. Value 1, I select this. Value 2, I select this. Value 3, I select this. Okay, and then I drag down. Okay, like some of the numbers here is in decimal, some of the numbers here is in accounting format. So I'm going to copy this and I'm going to paste as format. Okay, and there you go. Okay, so now you just say I click best case, it changes accordingly. If just say I choose worst case, it changes accordingly. All right, so far okay. If okay, maybe you can show some thumbs up. All right. So now you see, when you create a financial model, this one is a very simple example. Okay, like what to answer the question. First thing is you need to have assumptions. Like it can be more than 10 assumptions. Okay, depends. You have to normally the assumptions is not that you create simply. It's sometimes you have a discussion with your manager. You have a discussion with your engineering department. Why engineering department? Because when you want to build a highway, you need to communicate with the engineers. The engineers will tell you how much the engineering costs, how much the labor costs. So all this assumption is normally discussed internally with the managers, with the team. Okay, but for today's example, I use 3 case. Okay, so this is like a fictional example. We use 3 case. But when you start working, when you're working on a project, it will be more than 3 scenarios. Sometimes it will be more than 10 scenarios as well. But how you get the assumption is with your internal discussion with your manager. Okay, so now we have generated assumption. The next step is I want to create a process. Okay, so now I'm going to name this sheet as input and I want to name this sheet as process. Okay, so that you can understand. And let me zoom this. Okay, I'm going to put here as 1st September 20, maybe not 1st September, maybe 1st October 2023. Okay, and then I'm going to use equal EOM. So this is the end of month. Earlier, I got issued the end of month formula whereby it calculates the last day of the month. Okay, so this is the start date. This is the 0. Okay, so when you press here, automatically it becomes general format. Don't worry, you can actually choose to short date format. So this is a short date format. And if you're wondering why it's 0, if just say I put here -2, it shows 2 months ago. If just say I put here 3, it will show 3 months later. Okay, so that is why I put here 0. 0 means current month. Okay, so now we do have this data, and then I put here text, open bracket, value, I select this, apostrophe, M, and Y. So we have 4 months, the months in the full format, and Y here also full format, close bracket. So there you go. Okay, so this is the data. And then what I'm going to do is, of course, this company, they say they have the average customer spend per visit. So I'm going to copy all this and I'm going to paste it over here. Okay, let me wrap text. And okay, so this is basically the revenue and this is the expenses. Okay, so let me put it over here. So this is the revenue. Okay, so this is the revenue. So revenue, we have average customer spend per visit. So let's assume, so I'm going to put it over here. I'm going to select this. So this is the average customer visit. Okay, and then average number of customer per day, I'm going to go here. Number of customer per day is 200. All right, so this is the data. And then what I'm going to do is, this is per day. Now we have is 1 month, right? So I'm going to put here number of days. All right, so I'm going to put here equal the last day of the month minus the first day of the month plus 1. So overall you have 31 days. So now we want to calculate the total revenue. Okay, so total revenue is average customer spend per visit is like maybe 10 ringgit Malaysia. You times with 200 people, you times with 31. Okay, so we do have what, 62,000. Okay, 62,000 revenue per month. But if just say I go here, I put here worst case. Okay, sorry, best case. When I put here best case, So automatically they generate about 1 million. Okay, that's how they generate 1 million. But if just say I put here normal case, so when I put here normal case, they have about 310,000. So far, okay? If okay, maybe you can show some thumbs up. Okay, so this is all right. So if you have any questions, maybe you can drop your questions in the chat box, or you can just unmute and then you can ask me. Okay, all right. So next is we do have cost. This is what I call the expenses. Okay, let me zoom out a little bit so that you can see clearly. Okay, so I'm going to put here expenses. Okay, so based on this assumption, it is based on revenue, like 30% of revenue, 10% of revenue, and 15% of revenue. So this is the data. So what I'm going to do is all the data, if you notice, is in column D. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I want to click this. I click this data. All right. So this is in column D. So I press F4 and I press F4 again and I press F4 so that it locks in column D. Okay, it locks in column D and I just want to drag down. So now this is the data. And what I'm going to do is I want to times with this particular information. So I press F4, F4 so that it locks on row 9. So let me change this data and let me press comma. So this is the information. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, so this is your data. And I'm going to put here total expenses. So I'm going to click all this. So it's about 232,000. So if just say I go here, I change to normal case. Worst case. So when I click worst case, the revenue is 62,000. Okay. Yeah. Okay. The thing is, for this case study, Rakesh, okay, why is the revenue constant? You see, for cost of goods sale, this is a sample data. Normally, it depends on the revenue. It depends on the cases on real life study. So for this example, we use a fictional example. Okay. So there's a question in the chat box. Why the COGS is constant, even though the numbers of customers is increasing or decreasing? Well, this is a sample data, a sample fictional case study. In real life, all these numbers will be different. Okay, so for a purpose of study or purpose of education today, we just use this sample data. Okay, so is that okay, Rakesh? Did I answer your question? Okay, this is actually a fictional data. So we use a sample information basically. All right. Okay, so now we'll go back to topic. So just to let you know, so if just say I go here, I go to the input and I change to a best case. So when I click best case, automatically you'll notice that these numbers also change, these data also change. Okay, all right. So this is the details. So now if just say I want to calculate the profit. So what I'm going to do is equal is revenue minus expenses. So basically this is the profit. And what I can do is, so I'll just go here, equal 31st October plus 1 means it will be November, control R. So let me extend this so that it will be cleaner. And let me drag this and press control R. Okay, so now this is a sample data. Okay, this is a sample data. And then what I'm going to do is I want to press control G and just say I go to AA1. Okay, let me go here, highlight all this. Okay, and let me highlight this. Okay, so let me make it auto fit column. So now this is basically your data. Okay, let me just press this. Okay, so now if you look carefully, this is your data. That means we do have the from the current month, October 2023 up to October 2025, and we can see how much profit that they made. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I want to create an output. Okay, so let me put this a basic output. All right, over here, and then I just want to create a sample chart. So I'm going to create this. Okay, this is the chart, and I want to create this. Okay, and I press alternate F1. So now this is the details. I click this, Control X, and I click it over here. Okay, so this is your data. Okay, so this is the profit. And what I'm going to do is I just want to remove the legends and I want to remove the grid lines. Okay, so now this is the details. And then what I'm going to do is I want to put here a drop down list. Okay, I go to data, I go to this data validation, a box will appear, and then I click this list, and then I go to source, I go to the input, I highlight all this. Okay, I highlight all this, I press enter. So now if just say I click this, so we do have a drop down list, but now it's not automating. So what I can do is I go here, equal, okay, maybe I'll just press this. So equal, and I click this. Okay, so now if just say I click this, just say worst case. So you notice the graph changes accordingly, and this one I can put here equal, and I click it over here. So now if just say I click just say normal case, so now we do have the figures for normal case. And then if just say I want to put the data label, okay, data label, of course this numbers is quite big. So what I can do is I just right click this, right click, format axis, and then I click the format axis, a format axis menu will appear, and then I choose here thousands. So I click here thousands. So now this is your data. Okay, so this is your data over here. So now if just say I click the best case. So when I click best case, so you can understand how much profit we make along the years. And of course, if you notice, we have 1, 2, 3. So I want to change that. How I can do is maybe I can go to chart design. I go to select data. Okay, I can just untick this. Okay, untick this October, and I can click edit. I go to process, and I go here. Okay, so now there you go. So now this is your data actually. Okay, so now like what I'm teaching you right now is this is very simple and fictional financial model. Of course, once you start working, of course, you have more complex and more complicated scenarios. But from this given study, you can understand how to forecast the data based on future data using this Excel. So what is financial model? Financial model is basically you are building a template inside your Excel to forecast the data. Okay, so far okay? Do you understand, my friends? Maybe you can show some thumbs up if you understand. Okay, so this is a very simple, it's like what Rakesh has commented in the chat box. It's very rare that the cost of goods sales is constant. Okay, but why we are doing this is first thing is I want you to understand. I believe that some of you attended today, maybe this is the thing that you are looking at the first time. Maybe some of you you're new to the Excel, but it's okay. At least now you understand what is this financial model is. How financial modeling can actually helps you to forecast data. Not only financial model can help you to add value to organization, you can actually use financial model actually to forecast your future. If just say in future you want to buy a BMW or you want to buy a MacBook or iPhone, so basically from your salary and from your expenses, you can actually understand how much savings you will have in the next 2 years. Okay, so far okay? Did you learn something new? If you learn something new, maybe you can show some thumbs up. Okay, so for actually, to be honest, to cover financial modeling is requires a 1-day course. You know why 1-day course? Because if the case is very complicated, like for example, I'm going to show you one file over here. I'm going to click this, make it full screen, go to financial model, and I'm just going to click this. Okay, I'm going to click this particular file. Okay, so let me show you the file. So basically, as you can see over here, this is the real financial model because you have a summary, you have the assumptions like the, like I told you, the input, the process, and the output. And this is the results. So normally some managers, they want to know basically what is the cash flow. Okay, this is why you need to know the accounting and finance, but not necessary. If just say if you are from engineering background as well, of course, you can also learn financial modeling. Okay, so basically managers, they want to see this. They want to know what is the IRR, meaning to say the internal rate of return. They want to know the net present value. They want to know the free cash flow. So basically, this is what financial modeling is. Okay, so my friends, did you learn something new? If you learn something new, maybe you can show some thumbs up. Okay, so yeah, like what I told you, to learn financial modeling is not within 2 hours. Sometimes it can take 1 day or maybe 1 week to really understand and prepare a financial model. And just to let you know, all this data given here is very basically fictional. It's not really a true data. Okay, but if you want to learn, you need to start from scratch. You need to start from small. But when you start working, there will be a lot of scenario, and it will be changing. Okay, All right. So now I think I'll pass to the Q&A session.
Ellen, before that, I'd like to acknowledge something, and I'd like to take a couple of moments to acknowledge and also appreciate your efforts. Because, guys, I mean, whoever are in the audience, I would say that Ellen is a guy who is very professional and very skilled instructor. And when it comes to regarding teaching Excel, whether it's Power BI, whether it's VP or anything, he makes his sessions and he takes his topic very precisely as per the understanding, as per the requirements of the audience. He himself has came forward to acknowledge the requirements of the audience, and he himself told that I'd be taking a financial modeling session. I'd be conducting a session on financial modeling, and I would be teaching that. I'd be demonstrating it. And Alan is a guy who is very professional, and when it comes to the taking requirements of the audience, he is very great. And I'd like to mention this, and please show some respect and show some appreciation. I would like. Okay, so we can move further with the Q&A session. And if any questions are there from the audience, please unmute yourself, speak up so that it would be much more interacting, and it would be interactive for the instructor too. It would be better.
All right, so there's a question in the chat box. Okay, trainings aligned to actually basically like what Prem stated. Like we have this bonus pro bono session, and to let you know, Rakesh, to learn financial model is not overnight thing. You is in fact you need to know more than 2 hours. It depends if you are a fast learner or slow learner, because you need to understand what's the mechanism of the especially oil and gas industry. How does it works? What is the causes, revenue, the sometimes, because this is more, it's very extensive. Sometimes you need to know the depreciation costs, what are the assets they incur, and so on. So I don't know, maybe you can ask any coe if they have any financial modeling session, but I don't provide financial modeling course basically at this juncture, at this point. But it's, since I just like what Frame stated, I just volunteered and then just wanted to teach what is financial modeling actually. But maybe Rakesh, you can just ask any of the coes if they really have financial modeling.
And by the way, Alan, why don't you just brief about your the course which you are offering? Yeah, let me do that. Let me do that. Alan is an expert who is offering a course on Excel, and it's not a very expensive or any course like that to take extract and money from this. He did numerous and number of pro bono sessions for COE and also for his audience from the Malaysia as well. And I was also a part of that, and he is offering a course of of Excel from beginner to advanced level, and it is it is at the price of less than worth of a t-shirt. It is just for 200 rupees. Here from COE, we are not promoting or acknowledging anything. We are just acknowledging Alan's efforts and his gesture, his kind gesture to provide something which is very useful with very little amount of money, with very little amount of investment. And I would say it's a great investment as per time and as per money also. So if you wish to reach out to Alan, it would be great.
Yeah, thank you, Prem. Actually, basically, this course, like what Prem stated, actually, this course is regarding transforming data into dashboard. It's not relating to financial modeling. Okay. What course I'm providing right now is like what Prem stated. You learn the keyboard shortcut is from basic to advanced. Okay. You see, the thing is, you have to understand is I will. It's not. I sometimes, to be honest with you, I don't really promote my course. I only promote if it is relevant to your passion and to your work. Okay, because power automate, I don't think so. It's because this course, Mukesh. Okay, I think I need to answer your first question, but I answer your latest one. This course is basically transforming data into dashboard. Okay, and of course, I can't expect everyone to know what is data. Of course, you need to know the keyboard shortcut, pivot table, conditional formatting. Then eventually, they can actually prepare this dashboard. Okay, so it's like a 20-week course, 200 rupees for a 20-week course where you learn the keyboard shortcut. But now we are going to head to week form. Maybe next Thursday, 5th October, we will learn this pivot table too, how to build this pivot table. Then eventually you are preparing a complete dashboard. Okay. So like you see, today's course, I actually taught you is financial modeling. Okay. The thing about Excel is very diverse. I will use the Excel as an acronym of ocean. You see, in this planet, we have Indian Ocean, Atlantic Ocean, Pacific Ocean, right? So financial modeling is a different universe. Okay, for those who involved in projects, finance, financial modeling is a lot new universe. What I'm offering is data to dashboard, and not everyone prepare dashboard. Some managers, some colleagues, they use to need to prepare dashboard so that their investors, their top management can analyze data. Okay, like for example, I'm going to show you one of my work. So this is basically my work that I prepared dashboard. Okay, I'm going to open this particular file over here. Okay, so if you look over here, this is my report. So if just say I click here CFO office. So when I click CFO office, so you'll notice that the title changes to CFO office, the chart also change, and also the details also change. But if just say I clear filter, so automatically all the title, the chart, and also the numbers changes accordingly. So that is the main objective of people who want to join this course. Basically, if you want to join this course, okay, I'm not saying that you need to join and so on. If it's related to your work, if your work you need to prepare dashboard, you need to prepare automation report for your stakeholders, then you can join this. Or if you can have a passion towards the dashboard, then you can join. Okay, so like today's course is more to financial modeling. You can reach any of the COEs and then you can ask, okay, what is financial modeling and so on. There is data to dashboard, power query, and then automation report, a lot of things. Okay, so Excel is quite diverse. Basically, you can actually, it depends on your passion and your work related. And then Mukesh got asked me a question: what are the ratios or metrics that we should display that the owners must know? Normally it's very depending to the business. Depending to the business is what are the ratios or the numbers that we need to present to the bosses. Of course, for a simple business, for a small business, it's about profit. For some companies, it's about the free cash flow, okay, or the cash inflow. Okay, this is a formula. Those who study finance or those who study chartered financial analysts, they know what is free cash flow. And then some companies, they want to know the ROI, return on investment. Okay, so these are the numbers. Basically, Mukesh got asked me a question: what is the must know ratios or metrics that we need to display so that the owners can be interested? Okay, for small companies it's profit. As you work for bigger projects, it's about the cash flow and return on investment, internal rate of return, okay, internal rate of return, and also NPV, net present value. So these are the figures that the shareholders, investors are interested in. Okay, so Mukesh, did I answer your question? Anyone, do you have any questions? Okay, but again, I repeat, this one is for beginners. Beginners, if this is very new to you, like financial modeling. If you want to know the intermediate, you want to know the advanced, I will suggest to you, you can actually go to the YouTube. Like you can actually go to the YouTube and, like, of course, I click here YouTube and I click here financial model. Okay, so financial model is a huge universe. You can actually learn a lot. There's a lot of YouTube channels regarding financial model. You can actually learn this, but this is only relevant if it's relating to your work. If you are involved in project finance, if you are involved in corporate finance or business expansion, you can actually learn this. Okay, so let me see if I have all these. Yeah, I don't have Excel in Excel, but I don't have the financial. But you can actually visit the YouTube channels and so on. So far, anyone got any questions?
Hi, Ellen.
Yes, hi.
Yeah, can you show me how did you actually interacted the chart with that best case and worst case? Actually, didn't see that.
Okay, okay, no worries. Okay, so
Mhm.
basically now let me redo again this output thing. Okay, just redo. Okay, so what I do is, first thing is, as you can see, I go to this process. Let me zoom out first. Okay, so what I do is I highlight all these numbers. Okay, I highlight all this profit, and you can actually go to insert and you can create a chart, or you can use the keyboard shortcut of alternate F1. When I press alternate F1, so automatically the chart appear. Okay, and then I press Control X, I go to the output and I click it over here. Okay, so let me extend this. So now basically this is the chart. Okay, but if you look carefully, we do have 1, 2, 3 as the x-axis. So I don't want 1, 2, 3. What I do is I go to the chart design, I go to the select data, automatically this box will appear. So I click this edit and I go to this process. Okay, let me select the months. As you can see, I'm selecting the months, which means the October until the last month, and I press OK. So automatically, you see here, from 1 to 3, it becomes October, November, December. Okay, can you see this? Maybe you can show some thumbs up if you can see. All right.
Yeah, I can see that.
Okay, so now what I do is I create a, just say I click this, just say I choose worst case. So automatically, if you notice, the data changes accordingly. If just say I choose here normal case. So what I do is I created a drop down list. I go to data, I go to data validation, and I created a drop down list. And it depends on you. If you want to make it automated, that means I put here equal and I select normal case. So I click here, just say I click here best case. So it shows me best case. And if just say if you want the numbers, so I click on the chart element, I choose the data labels. Okay, I click the data labels. But if the thing is, now all this one is big numbers. Okay, when you present to your manager, this is not a proper presentation. So you can select this vertical axis or the y axis, right click, and you go to format axis. And then on your right hand side, the format axis will appear. You go to display unit and you select thousands. So if your numbers is millions, you select millions. I select thousands. So automatically you can see this. This is based on thousands, 209,000 and so on. So I click this, I put here worst case. So we can see that this is the presentation. Okay, did I answer your question?
Yes, you did. Thank you.
All right. So anyone has any questions? You can actually type in the chat box, or you can actually, unmute and then you can ask. But this is a very simple case study. Okay, for 2 hours, you can actually practice this. When you start working, the project will be huge, like complex, something like this. Let me show you. This is a rail case study, a rail project. Okay, where you need to share to your managers and so on. So you can actually, like what Prem has already stated in the chat box, you can actually reach me in the LinkedIn if you have any questions, basically. So, but financial modeling, I'm not saying that you have to learn this. It's actually, if you know this, it will be beneficial to you. And if it's related to your work, then of course you need to master it, because there's a lot in actually financial modeling. In fact, you can actually prepare financial modeling in Power BI actually. That's a new direction going in. So there's a lot basically. So if it's related and if you have passion, then you can actually try to master this financial model.
Alan, as I'd like to request you to showcase one of your Excel dashboards if that possible, and if that's not much,
Excel dashboard.
yeah, one of your Excel dashboards, which would
Okay.
be
All right. So maybe I'll just show a simple one. Okay. Maybe I'll just open a file. Okay. I'll just use, there's a lot of files. Maybe I'll go to this one and I choose this. Okay. So there's a question how I can create a dashboard. Okay. So maybe I'll just choose a case study. No, case study 2 is not relevant because it's a very fictional one. Maybe let me choose case study form, because this is based on rail data. Okay. We do have the date, we do have the categories, we do have the sales, we do have the location, and we do have the type of the products basically. So what I can do is how I can actually prepare a dashboard. Okay, so I put my cursor over here, I press Control A. So automatically it will highlight the entire data. I go to insert, I click pivot table. So I click pivot table and I press OK. So once I press OK, so I'm going to create a very simple dashboard. So I'm going to put here date at the rows. So now we have this, all the months. I want to put the US dollar at the values. So now this is the details actually. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I want to format these numbers. If you look here, it's very hard for us to understand these numbers. You know, we don't know really it's maybe 1 million or maybe 100,000. It's very hard for us to know. So I'm going to press this right click. I want to click format cells, and I'm going to choose as accounting, and then it's up to you. You want to put the INR or you want to put US dollar. So I'm going to put none, and I'm going to press OK. So now this is our data. And then based on this, I'm going to create a pivot chart, and I'm going to press here OK. So now this is the details. And what I'm going to do is I want to put here Apple products at the filter. I want to put the countries in the filter. Okay, so now we do have this data. But now if you notice, the chart here is very small. So I can actually right click this, and I put here hide all field button on chart. So automatically the chart becomes bigger, and I can click on the chart element to remove the legend, to remove the grid line, and select data labels. Okay. And again, if you notice, basically, even I expand this, the numbers is too big. When you present to top management, some managers, they don't like big numbers. So what you can do is you select this, right click, you go to format axis. So on your right hand side, you have format axis, and then you can click this, you choose here, maybe I choose here thousands. So automatically you have this data, you have thousands over here. And then what I'm going to do is I go to pivot chart analyze, insert slicer. Okay, insert slicer. I'm going to choose Apple product category. I want to choose the countries, and I press OK. So now if just say I click this, and let me close the slicer. So if just say I want to know about India. So now this is the data for the sales of Apple products in India. If just say I want to know about USA. So this is the sales of Apple products in USA. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I want to make it more interesting. So I just want to copy all this, and I want to paste it over here. So I want to put here equal if you know the if formula, it has two scenario, either true or false. So I want to put the logical test. If all is equals to all, then I want to put is overall Apple products. Okay, and close bracket, close apostrophe, and I'm going to put this close bracket. This thing over here, instead of Apple products, I want to put is the world. Okay, the world. Okay, so I'm going to put this equal Apple products, and I put here in apostrophe, and I put here the word. Okay, so we have Apple products. Maybe I'll just want to put something. Okay, apostrophe sales of apostrophe n. Okay, so now if you notice, we do have like sales of overall Apple products. So I'm going to click this equal, and I'm going to put it over here. Okay, so now if just say I click here iPhone, so we have sales of iPhone in the world. So if just say I click here MacBook, I have sales of MacBook in the world. And if just say I click India, so we do have sales of MacBook in India. If just say I click iPhone, we do have sales of iPhone in India. Okay, so do you notice the difference? If you notice the difference, maybe you can show some thumbs up. Okay, so don't worry. I know some of you, because this is an online class and somehow you need to learn and so on. So to make your life easier, don't worry. What you can do is you can actually go to this channel. Of course, this is my YouTube channel. The name is Learn with Ellen. And if you look here, there is a case study of Apple products. Okay, you can actually visit this YouTube channel. And of course, if just say I were to click on this Apple products, okay, and I close this. Okay, let me see this. If you click on the description over here, you can actually download the case study file. You can download this file, and you can actually practice this. You can watch the video, and you can actually practice this together. Okay, so if you just say just now I teach you, you forget or you don't understand, don't worry. You can actually visit the YouTube channel. You go to the description, you download the file, and you can learn how to automate this. So now if you just say I want to know around the world, so I click this. So now we can see the sales of Apple Watch in the world. If just say I don't want Apple Watch, I want to know iPhone. So this is the sales of iPhone in the world. Okay. So did you learn something new? If you learned something new, maybe you can show some thumbs up. Okay. So yeah, anyone have any questions? Okay, I think no questions. I'll pass to Prem.
Okay, so if you from audience, if do you do have any some questions, please unmute yourself. If you want to ask anything to Alan regarding the course. Okay, I'll take that as a no. Okay, great. So, okay, so let's before concluding the session, I'd like to take the requirements from the audience, like what you would like to see from future sessions. Please, guys, please you can unmute yourself, speak up.
Hi, Prem.
Okay, hi, Shruti.
Yeah, hi. Maybe you can tell us about what's master data management, because I see this a lot in most of the JDs where I'm applying. So a little bit of knowledge would be great.
Okay, and
Mhm.
I mean, you would like to see that in a visualization manner, or you would like to just like brief answer.
A brief answer for now would do.
Okay. Okay, yeah, I mean, in my previous company, what I have, like, I would like to share my experience in my previous company when I was working as a business operations manager. Master data analysis, is that what you were asking, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's comprised of like it's a whole teamwork where because the whole department which is handling the data engineers and also the data analyst would be combinedly working on a specific project. Okay, and it would be comprised of insights gathered by the data analysts, and it would be forecasted by the data engineers or the data scientists.
Okay, so what exactly is the role of somebody who manages this data?
Okay, the person who manages this data would be handling the storage and also the is derived out of the data engineer. So the master data analyst, the work of a master data analyst would be gathering those insights and also processing to the data scientist or the data engineers team or the further team as per the requirement. And it would also reaching out and also holding the storage, etc. I mean, if the database should not be corrected, all these things.
Okay. Thank you.
So, anyone from the audience who would like to ask anything to Alan? I guess there is Kundan Kumar. Okay, I'm taking that as a no. Okay, so let's show some appreciation to Alan once again for all the efforts he has been done and for taking these pro bono sessions. And yeah, I'd like to welcome Alan to do much more pro bono sessions. And also, who would like those who ever like to enroll or reach out to Alan, please do that through his LinkedIn profile. I have shared his LinkedIn profile in the chat box, or you could also reach through his WhatsApp chat group. Alan, could you just paste your WhatsApp group link so that
Ah,
people
yeah,
can?
sure. No, no worries. Yeah, I'll just copy the link and yeah, I'll just paste it in the group. Okay, there you go.
Okay. Any more questions? Anything from the audience? Okay, well. Okay. Thank you, everyone, for the joining. Thank you, Alan.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you for contributing. And
All right.
I'm looking forward for further sessions from you, and probably for the next week.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Right. Thank you. I'm shutting
All
off
right.
the recording.